Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. Some rivalries are inherently different, they represent a clash of playing styles, philosophies, and identities, and in the Champions League, there has never been a more dramatic contest than the one between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. It is a tale of artistry versus brute force, a saga of superstars against warriors. This is not a fairy tale from some distant 2026 fixture. It is a true story, an epic account of how one team became the nemesis of another. It is the story of how Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid twice blocked Barcelona's path, shattering their Champions League dreams, and thereby laid the foundation for a grand rivalry defined by perseverance, pride, and heartbreak. To truly grasp the magnitude of this drama, we must return to the very beginning. The story begins in 2014. Barcelona, the undisputed masters of possession football, faced off against Atletico, a team being molded in the image of their manager, Diego Simeone. Disciplined, formidable, and unyielding, the first leg took place at Barcelona's impregnable fortress, the Camp Nou. It was an intensely contested match, a tactical battle of wits. Then, in the 56th minute, something unexpected occurred. Substitute Diego Ribas received the ball from a considerable distance and unleashed a powerful strike that flew straight into the top corner. The entire stadium was left stunned. Atletico had secured a precious away goal. Barcelona needed a hero, and they found one in Neymar, who restored parity following a magnificent effort by Andres Iniesta. Yet, by then, the damage had already been done. Even a 1-1 draw felt like a defeat. Now they had to travel to the historic Vicente Calderón Stadium, a venue that was not merely a football pitch, but a fiery cauldron of hostility and raw emotion. And just 5 minutes into the match, that furnace erupted. Coke volleyed the ball into the net, and Simeone's wall became even more impenetrable than before. Barcelona, despite all their talent, could not breach it. For the first time, Simeone's Atletico achieved that feat. They knocked Barcelona out of the tournament and secured their place in the semi-finals. The script for a heartbreaking defeat had been written. 2 years later, history was poised to repeat itself. Once again, a quarter-final clash, the same teams, the same stakes. The first leg, played at Camp Nou, was a chaotic and tumultuous affair. This time, it was Atletico who scored first, courtesy of Fernando Torres, but just 10 minutes after scoring, Torres was shown a red card following a second yellow, a moment that completely turned the tide of the game. Playing against 10 men, Barcelona completely besieged their opponents. It took over an hour, but they finally succeeded. Luis Suarez scored not one, but 2 goals, sealing an incredible 2-1 comeback victory. Barcelona headed to Madrid with the lead, and the entire world expected them to hold on to that advantage and win. But they had forgotten who they were playing against. They had forgotten Calismo. They had forgotten the Calderón, and they had forgotten about Antoine Griezmann. Two Simeone's players, even without their suspended striker, Torres played with immense passion and aggression. In the 36th minute, Griezmann headed home a magnificent cross from Saul Niguez, leveling the aggregate score between the two sides. If you remember the intensity of that night, and if you believe in the magic of the Champions League, don't forget to hit the like button for us. Let's see how many of you sensed that the tide of the game was about to turn. That single goal changed everything. The reigning European champions, Barcelona, were thoroughly rattled. They launched wave after wave of fierce attacks. But that famous blue and red wall, their defense stood firm, repelling every single assault. The beautiful game had devolved into a street fight, precisely the kind of match in which Atletico excels. For the home side, every passing minute felt like an eternity. Barcelona pressed relentlessly for the goal that would save them, yet with every attack, they left themselves increasingly exposed. Then, in the 88th minute, the final blow fell, a lightning-fast counter-attack, a handball by Andres Iniesta inside the box. And the referee pointed to the penalty spot. Antoine Griezmann stepped up, bearing the weight of an entire city's expectations on his shoulders. He calmly and coolly converted the penalty, sending the crowd at the Vicente Calderón Stadium into a frenzy of jubilation. By the end of the night, Atletico held a 2-0 lead, securing a 3-2 aggregate victory across the 2 legs. There was still a flicker of drama left in the match. In stoppage time, a controversial refereeing decision saw a potential Barcelona penalty waved away. Despite the handball appearing to have occurred just inside the box, Lionel Messi's ensuing free kick sailed over the crossbar, and with it, Barcelona's hopes of retaining their title vanished. The final whistle blew. Exhausted by their victory, the Atletico players collapsed to the turf. The Barcelona players crumbled, overcome by sheer despair. For the second time in 3 seasons, they had been knocked out of the Champions League by their rivals from Madrid. In the end, it was an unstoppable force. This is the story of the outcome of a clash between two unstoppable forces. It was a tale of an extraordinary effort by Barcelona, one that faltered twice in the face of the unwavering resolve of their most indomitable rival. As Diego Simeone remarked following their victory in 2016, "We may win or we may lose, but we believe in the values life has taught us: respect, perseverance, and the courage to rise again," and rise they did. Twice they bounced back and defeated one of the greatest teams in history. In the Champions League, they proved to be Barcelona's kryptonite. For some, it was a night of glorious defeat; for others, a living testament to Atletico's courage and to the fighting spirit of Coke and his teammates, serving as a painful reminder that, in the Champions League, sheer grit often triumphs over pure talent. Which moment stands out as the most heroic in this fierce rivalry? Griezmann's brace in 2016, or Coke's winning goal in 2014? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For more classic Champions League nights and legendary tales, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what we have coming up next.